Hey guys, how's it going? What's up, y'all? And when I say I hope you guys are doing well, I truly mean it. I really think about y'all, and I hope things are going well in your life. Things were not going so well in my life about 10 minutes ago. I just dropped the Challenger in the driveway. I was backing it down the driveway. Oh, you can't see Barbara's car from here. But I got a little too close to it, and it was either scrape her car or drop the bike. That's all there was to it. I couldn't start it up and move back up it was just going too fast. So I let it fall, I let it go down. What the hell? Things are gonna happen, right? They say there's two kinds of people, those who've dropped their bike and those who are going to drop their bike. And I guess I might as well get it out of the way right now in my own driveway. So anyway, I can tell you one thing, that when it fell over, that Custom Dynamics driving light took all of the force of the front of the bike, didn't budge. It's pristine. The chrome isn't even scratched or dented. So today we're gonna do a double header. I'm gonna tell you about my Custom Dynamics headlight that I put in, and I'm gonna show you the Advanblack Tourpack that I put on the bike. So if you're following me on Facebook or on Instagram, you've seen that the kind folks at Advanblack sponsored us and sent us a Tourpack, a bracket, and a fancy, very nice padded interior liner for the Tourpack. And I can't forget this part, they also sent me a luggage rack to go on the back. So they wanted me to do a review, and I gotta tell you, I'm super happy with it. But before we get into that, I wanna tell you about the Custom Dynamics adaptive headlight that I put on the Challenger. This is a 2022 Challenger Limited that I picked up back in December. Custom Dynamics sent me the driving lights and the saddlebag lights, which I've done a video for, and I'll put a link to right up over here. Great products, they've been working flawlessly. But today we're gonna talk about the Challenger headlight that I put in. Now on my Springfield, I put an Indian adaptive headlight on that bike, and it's a must-have as far as I'm concerned. The stock LED headlight throws out this horizontal line pattern in front of you, and with the stock light, when you turn left or right, that horizontal pattern tilts up and down. If you have that light, you know what I'm talking about. And the adaptive headlight fills that empty void, that dark space, by throwing a little light pattern out there. So when I was talking to the folks at Custom Dynamics, I said, hey, I'm gonna get this Indian light. They're like, hey, we'll send you one. And so I said, cool, I'll take it. So they sent it to me, and they sent me the other lights also, and they also sent me an Underglow Light Kit as well. One more thing I have to do. My God, I am so behind. I had a little trouble when I installed the Custom Dynamics adaptive headlight. When they first sent it to me, it was the first thing that I wanted to install. It's really simple to install the headlight. You just pull the fairing off, which is 6 screws. It's not hard. I've got a video up here from when I changed the handlebars. I'll show you how to take the fairing out. And then once you get that off, just set it on a table, and then it's just 4 more screws to pull this bracket out, and then you swap out the headlight. It's real simple. But the problem is that Indian, when they started building these, for some reason they've used 2 different connections for that headlight. So you could have the standard one that, if you've seen, most of the Indian headlights have this 3-prong plug, but now they have this Mx150 plug, which I happen to have, and I didn't know that. So when I went to install the light, I wasn't able to connect it up. I needed this Mx150 adapter that thankfully the folks at Custom Dynamics sell. Now, by the way, Custom Dynamics makes a lot of cool little widget light adapter kits. So if you're ever doing a project and you're adding lights, take a look at their website, because they have a lot of cool stuff that might be able to get you out of a jam. So I called them up, and they sent me one of the Mx150 adapters. My recommendation to you is that if you're gonna do this light kit change, just go ahead and buy it in advance. If you don't need it, send it back to them. They'll give you credit for it. So anyway, I got the light installed. It's performed in every possible way that I would expect it to. Let's see, how do I want to do that?
Okay, so I started rambling a bunch of incoherent nonsense at this point, and I decided to just do some voiceover work here to try and better explain what my experience was like. When I finally got the light fired up, I thought the startup process was really cool, the way it goes through all these different lighting elements. I also noticed that it wasn't pointed as high as the factory light and it needed a little adjusting. You also might want to level the bike up right and plumb, so maybe get an assistant to come help you. So just use a longer number 4 hex tool at these positions on both sides of the lamp. Counterclockwise raises the light and clockwise lowers it, and you can either do it on the street like I did here, or you can make some fine-tuning adjustments aiming at your garage door or a fence. Either way works. Alright, so wanting to point out the obvious here, but the Custom Dynamics light is a slightly different color temperature than the Indian lights. Now this warmer tone is marginally noticeable when you're looking at the light from a standing position in front of the bike, but when you're sitting on the bike, it doesn't really make much of a difference at all. Frankly, it never affected me. Now one thing that always disappointed me about the standard Indian LED was this horizontal line pattern it throws out there. The Custom Dynamic light is different because it makes a very uniform and broad light pattern without hot spotting in any way, which I think is a huge improvement over the Indian light. So taking it for a little spin here to show you how well it works, the fuller light pattern had me won over right away. Comparing it back to the Indian Adaptive, I feel like this unit just gives me way more overall light in front of the bike. Now the Indian Adaptive light uses its lighting element to put a little triangle out into the blind spot on slow curves, whereas the Custom Dynamics unit uses this progressively illuminated fill pattern to accomplish the same goal. I really prefer this style because the standard pattern is so wide already that when the bike starts leaning, this just expands to fill the field of view even more. It's a really nice design. So here's my favorite part about the light, the high beam. And let me tell you, man, this thing is so bright, and it throws this beam right down the center of the road for what seems like a country mile. Totally did not expect anything like this at all. I'm flashing it on and off here a few times in different conditions so you can get an idea of how well it works. Okay, so after I got back from the ride, I felt like the light was adjusted a little too high after my test run, and I wound up using my garage door here to aim it down just a bit. All in all, I've been thoroughly impressed with the quality level of all the product on everything they've sent me, and their customer support has been stellar. Now I just have to find time to get this Underglow Light Kit installed. Oh man, I'm telling you. Alright, speaking of time, it looks like I'm out of time, and we'll have to get to that Advanblack Tourpack in my next video. So stay tuned for that one, kids. Sorry I ran out of time. We'll see you in the next one. 2 Indians, I'm out of here.